Hey everybody, I'm Emily from The Joy of Coding. Welcome, welcome. I am so excited to talk to you today on this Friday afternoon. It is lovely up here in the Northeast. We're outside of New York City and it's an unusually lovely day today, which is so nice. And I just hope wherever you are that you're having an awesome day and ready to kickstart that weekend. I know that some of you might be trying to learn to code this weekend and diving in. I love that, right? That's how you get there, right? You just keep doing it until you've mastered it, right? I've never seen someone fail that continues to show up and be there. So congratulations on taking this step on learning to code, investing in yourself. It's just awesome. So if you're here, please don't hesitate to reach out. I love to see you guys and hear what's up. So please feel free to drop, say hello in the comments and I'll see them as you type them. So today, what we're going to talk about is the 5 essential things that you need to learn how to code, right? And so you don't need everything in the world to learn how to code, but you do need some things. And so today we're going to talk about what those 5 things are. Hey, great to see you guys. Awesome. Wonderful. So the first thing you're going to need to learn how to code is going to be a computer. We're starting with the basic tools here. You could learn how to code on a phone. It's possible to get started, but you're not going to want to stay there, right? You're going to want to be able to build real apps that actually solve problems. So eventually you're going to want some kind of a laptop. But what kind of laptop? There's a lot of flexibility, right? I've seen some people learn on a Chromebook, and that's a great place to start. Or even a Microsoft Surface, like if you have a tablet. And so, hey guys, it's great to see you. Thanks for joining. Hi, Michael. Hey, Eric. Great to see you guys. Uma, thank you so much for saying hi, guys. I love it. Love it. Awesome. So, because I see this question all the time, especially in groups where people are trying to learn how to code. They're like, oh my goodness, what kind of laptop should I get? Like, I want to get a laptop. I want to get into this and start coding. Hey, Henry, how's it going? And so the good news is that there's a wide variety of technology that will work. A laptop is super helpful. Tablets can be a place to get started, but you probably won't want to develop there long term. The only exception is the Surface, because it's really like an actual Windows laptop. It's just in a tablet form factor. Chromebooks are really like tablets. You can learn on a Chromebook because you can boot it into something called Linux, right? That's a powerful operating system that Mac is built on. It's a super awesome tool as you advance as a programmer to have Unix on the back end. So any programmer that I've seen that really kind of evolves into a 6-figure developer eventually learns how to navigate the Unix command line. It's a little bit different from the Windows command line, which is called DOS, DOS. And so the Unix command line is amazing. And so you can get it on almost any platform. So for example, if you're on Windows just started shipping Windows with a Unix, or it's possible to get as a download. And a lot of people choose to use an editing software to write their code that has Unix built in, which is awesome. I'm going to talk about that in point 2, so I don't want to jump ahead there. But if you get a Mac, Unix is built in right under the hood, which is amazing. So I personally use a Mac because I love that I get to be on the weekends. I get to kind of like let my hair down and just be like an average user, which I love. So like I don't have to be a power user and bring it all the time. But when I'm ready and I want to like lay it down and be like, yes, throw down, we are coding right now, I have Unix right there. And so that's why I really love working on a Mac personally. You can get this for cheaper. Like if a Mac is at a level that you don't want to invest right now, you can get one used. That's one way. I've done that before too. You can also run Linux on like anything. And so Linux is the free version of Unix. If you don't feel technically comfortable yet with your technology, I wouldn't go that route. I would focus on using the main OS, the main operating system that came with your computer, but it doesn't really matter. Mac, Windows, get the best quality computer that you can afford. Now, what do you want to look for when you're looking for a computer? If you are investing in a computer and you have that ability to invest in yourself, then you want to focus on 2 things: RAM, which is the memory, and the processor. Many people believe that the processor is actually what determines the speed of your computer. Only a little bit. What we believe to be the speed, what determines our user impression of the technology is actually the RAM. the memory, because the memory determines how many programs you can have up and running at the same time and not notice a delay or a lag. So for most computer users, the RAM is actually the determining factor for how fast their computer feels. So if you're torn between, ooh, should I level up the processor or the RAM? Go with the RAM, because you can do a lot more with that RAM. It's gonna help everything go faster. So that's my recommendation there, is get the best machine you can afford, and it could be used, it doesn't have to be brand new. Pay attention to RAM. You can also upgrade RAM pretty easily on most computers, but you'd want to research that in advance, right? Not all computers make it easy to upgrade the RAM. And the processor, unless you're building your own machine, you're not going to be able to upgrade that easily, especially in the modern laptops. Memory, they sometimes make available. But yeah, so, and if anybody has questions on that, like I know I see those questions in groups all the time, please don't hesitate. You can drop them here in the comments, or feel free to post it to the group. Happy to weigh in for that. Awesome. Hey guys, great to see you. Thanks so much for joining. Awesome. So if you've got some kind of a computer that you can use that has decent RAM and you can kind of get started, awesome. Keep going, you're ready. The next thing you need to learn how to program is some kind of an editor. The way this is termed in the programming world is called an integrated development environment, or IDE. And so what that means is it's a place where you can type your code and run it at the same time and see the results. This is in contrast to old school development, like back in the 70s, where you'd have basically an editor program, kind of like Word, except it's just for code. So you'd have like this editor program, and then you'd go over to your terminal and you'd type and you'd run it, and then you'd see the results. So an integrated development environment brings those pieces together. And so you have all those different components there. And so what editor or IDE you use is going to be vary depending on the type of language and the type of coding that you're planning to do. Now, personally, I recommend that all students, and this is what we do inside the Joy of Coding Academy, I recommend every student starts with Python. And I don't recommend it as like the final language, but I recommend it as the starter, your first language, because it's the easiest language to get up and running with the 7 basics. And if you don't know what the 7 basics are, I have another video I'm happy to share with you. I can link it in for you if you need that. And so basically you want to learn how to problem solve. And so you have these 7 basics, loops, ifs, variables, things like that. And you want to learn how to use them to solve problems. Okay, and so the easiest way to do that is with Python. And so if that's your goal, if you want to learn how to solve problems with code, regardless of programming language, then I recommend starting in Python. And there's really 2 main editors that you can use to do that. There's PyCharm, it's very common. There's a free community edition. And there's also, you can use online websites, like Replit is one way to do that. So like there's a lot of options there. To start learning, Replit and websites like it, these are called cloud IDEs. They're great, right? They will work. Eventually, you'll probably want an IDE on your computer itself. And the reason why, even if you're using a browser-based IDE, the reason why, oh, please, the 7 basics, awesome, Michael. I will totally give you that link. I have a different video on that I can totally share with you. Thanks for speaking up. And so the editor you choose, it doesn't have to be local on your computer right away, right? You can start learning in the cloud. And you might be asking, well, if I can learn in the cloud, if I can learn through my web browser, what do I need a laptop for? Mostly it's because the form factor of developing on a tablet is going to be really, really clunky. And you don't have that upward range of being able to run it easily on your computer. So you can start in the cloud, but you're gonna finish on your local machine, right? When you start actually building software that's really gonna do stuff, right? That's gonna do cool things. So that's where we wanna get you to. So to do that, just start from the beginning with a laptop if you can. If you can't, like, okay, do the basics for about a month on the cloud with a browser-based IDE, but then switch over once you can get a computer. So that's 2. Those are the first 2. And we're talking about the 5 essential things that you need to learn how to code. So a computer, awesome. And an editor, yes, because you need to have a way to enter code and to test it, to actually run it, right? To test that you're understanding. The next thing you're gonna need, number 3, is gonna be a roadmap of what to learn. And this is a place where I definitely see people getting lost and uncertain. Hey James, great to see you. Thanks so much for joining. And so with your roadmap, you really want to focus on where you're trying to go and kind of backtrack from there, reverse engineer it. So let's say you want to become a web developer. I know that's super, super common. So what are the technologies that you want to see, right? That you want to master, and what do you want to learn? And what you can do is go look for some jobs. Look for some job ads, see what they're looking for, and then we want to reverse engineer that. So let's say they're looking for React, right? So you would want to build projects in React. And ideally, we don't want to just build projects for ourselves. We want to build them for others, because that really helps us accelerate our learning. Because sometimes when push comes to shove, I don't know if this has happened to any of you guys, but for me, sometimes if I'm doing a project for myself, I'll just be like, I thought it'd be really cool if I did this thing, but now, it seems kind of hard. I'm not going to do it that way. I'm just going to let that go. But when you actually have someone that you're delivering software for, it helps you grow. It helps move you forward and propel you forward, because you don't just say, I'll do it later, because you actually have somebody who cares about whether or not you create working software. So I totally encourage you to line up somebody that has some software needs. And inside the Joy of Coding Academy, we help all our students do that and work on a team to deliver that. So we're reverse engineering our roadmap, right? We start off with a web developer, we start off with technology, and now we want to backtrack and see, okay, what is it that we really want to learn? So we can go forward and backwards. We're going to do this 2 ways. So we got our 7 basics, which I already mentioned, and Michael, I'll get you that video for sure. And then we've got some understanding of data structures and problem solving with that. So how do you problem solve with more advanced data structures and algorithms? What does that look like? And then something that there's a middle point to get you to the point where you can develop that software. And that's where there's a lot of flexibility, and where I also see a lot of overwhelm and analysis paralysis and being in tutorial hell, right? Like it's just like, what do I learn next? And so this is where having a concrete project in mind can really help, because it can help cut out the noise. Like, what do I need to learn? What can I learn today to help me deliver that project, to help me move forward, right? So that's really how I recommend people kind of cut out the noise. Like do something for at most 10 to 20 hours, at most. Absolute most, just to get something up and running, the hello world bit, right? Whatever that looks like for your project. And then don't learn more. Don't go in for the 100 hours, know everything in React course, right? Just go in and find something really, really light and upper level and just start doing it. Get in there and start building. And so finally, so that's number 3, is your roadmap. And if you need help with that, please don't hesitate to reach out in the group. Happy to help, guide anyone there on their learning materials. And finally, we've got 4 and 5, our last 2 things. So these are actually the most important. Maybe I shouldn't have saved them for last, but these are the most important 2 things. 4 is showing up, right? And the fact that you're here right now is awesome, right? You are showing up, you are doing it, you are killing it, right? You can't get where you're trying to go if you don't show up. So that's the first step. Build the habit. What I like to do is block out a time where I'm just gonna be this is my code learning time, or this is my learning time where I'm investing in myself, and you just hold that spot in your schedule sacred, and you keep working on it, even if you don't make progress, right? You hold the spot, because if you keep showing up, eventually something is going to click for you. For example, there was once this story of a guy who really struggled to work out. He just could not make it a habit, and he knew it was good for him. He knew he needed this to be healthy. He needed to work out. So all he did is he just wanted to build the habit. So he committed to himself. He just showed up at the gym. Didn't do anything, just hung out in the locker room for an hour. That's it. He just made the habit. And you know what? After about a month, he started working out. And he built the habit already. So he was already going. He's like, I might as well work out while I'm here. And so that was enough. That lowered his resistance. And now he goes to the gym every day, or regularly through that same schedule every week. And you can do that too. So don't stress yourself out in the beginning. Build the habit, and the skills will come later in time. So number 4, showing up. Doesn't matter. You don't have to do anything. The first step is showing up. Step number 5, doing the work, right? It's showing up and doing the work, even when it's challenging, even when it doesn't make sense, right? Because no matter what in programming, I can almost guarantee you, I'm pretty sure I can guarantee you that at some point you are going to hit something, some challenge, some bug that you don't understand. Bugs are a fact of life. And by definition, whenever you come across a bug in your code where it doesn't work the way you expect, no matter what, it means you're going to be asked to level up to be able to solve it. Your current self is not smart enough to solve that bug. So you have to level up. And so we do this every time we invest in ourselves, every time we learn and we take steps forward. We're hitting a bug, we're hitting a wall, and we're going to have to get over it. And so it's about doing the work, even if it takes a while, right? Even if it doesn't happen as fast as we want. It's about showing up and doing the work, right? Just doing the work and keeping at it. You know, it doesn't matter how long it takes. Everybody, I can tell you this, every single developer on the planet has hit a bug that stumped them. As programmers, we are constantly asked to learn. It's what we do. Like, we are lifelong learners. If you don't like learning, then programming might not be the best fit for you, right? Like, because we're always learning. There's never that point where you like learn it all and you're just done and you're a six-figure developer. Woohoo! No. Six-figure developers learn all the time too, because technology constantly changes. And so what we're asked to do constantly changes. And so it's about being comfortable with that and being comfortable with not knowing the answer, but having the confidence in ourselves that we can get there. All right. And so just to recap, you know, I'm Dr. Emily from The Joy of Coding, and today we talked about the 5 things that you need to learn how to code, and you probably already have most of these well within your grasp. A computer with internet access. Sorry, I forgot that. Internet access is super key. An editor or an IDE. It's called an integrated development environment. A roadmap of what content to learn. Showing up, right? Showing up and doing the work. And one last thing I want to make about that roadmap is be choosy about your roadmap. Be intentional about that roadmap. Be strategic, because there's roadmaps that'll take you 10 years and never get you there. And there's roadmaps that'll take you a few months and I'll get you there faster. And so just be intentional about the roadmap. If you need any help on that, just reach out. It's something we do inside the Joy of Coding Academy. I've worked in my years as a professor and working with private students and really streamlining what that content needs to look like to really get you there in the fastest path. So I'm happy to weigh in if you have questions there. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for showing up. If there are any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can pop them here in the comments and I can totally get back to you. I know Michael had the question about the 7 basics, so I'll drop that link here as soon as we come off live. If there's any other questions, I'm not seeing them. I just want to give them a second, give it a beat. But thank you so much for showing up. It was great to see you, and I hope you have an awesome rest of your Friday and a great start to your weekend. Take care.